The sound of the bell striking snapped me awake. It rang again. Where the hell was it coming from? It sounded like one of those old grandfather clocks, but I knew there wasn't one of them in the living room. There wasn't much at all in the living room. As far as furniture and decorations went, it had been reduced to the bare minimum. Maybe the bell was chiming midnight, or perhaps noon. Whatever the reason for its noise, it had woken me up. I had to struggle my way out of the blanket that smothered me, which had been tucked around my body like a bunting bag. It's harder to do than you think with your hands locked behind your back. That fucking vampire bastard. I hadn't used my arms when they'd been tied up front, so why the hell were they locked behind me again now? Damn, I was thirsty. The glass of apple juice was sitting on the coffee table with the straw still sticking out of it. I got on my knees, crawled over to it, and drained it dry. The cheese and crackers were still sitting there too, though the cheese had taken on that dried out, shriveled, stale around the edges, unappealing look. My stomach growled. I'd eaten a lot worse than dried out cheese in the past. It wasn't going to be a problem. I didn't make much of a pretty picture, munching on cheese whilst using my tongue to drag the crackers to the edge of the plate so I could get my teeth into them. The crackers were drying my mouth up inside. Damn, I shouldn't have drunk all the juice first. Maybe there was more to drink in the dumbwaiter. Climbing to my feet, I stood stock still to see if the weakness that had kicked the crap out of me earlier was still there. It was, but not to the same extent it had been before. It was much less now, and so I managed to cross over to the dumbwaiter, turn with my back to it, grab the handle, and pull as hard as I could. I was rewarded with the small door popping open, and turning around, I used my head to nudge the opening wider, taking a look inside. There was a cake sitting in the metal contraption. A cake? Why would that be in there? Marcus wouldn't eat that. I froze as I looked at the iced message on it. It read, "Happy birthday, Sex." That couldn't be right. I hadn't been down here as a vampire's fucking suck toy for a year. It couldn't be. An entire year? I'd been raped daily for a year, almost twice a visit, sometimes 3 or 4 times. That amounted to... I'd been fucked more than 1,000 times? No. No. Oh, no, 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 no. Actually, it is more like 795 times. That is, if you only count intercourse. Marcus was suddenly standing right behind me, a hand on my shoulder keeping me from turning around. If we add in the fellatio, the masturbations, the number of times we use other body parts because you were too sore, well, I believe we would be closer to 1,104. Now, look what you've gone and done, and spoiled my surprise for you. I even had 30 candles set aside to light on top of the cake. I didn't even react as he wrapped his forearm around my neck and pulled me back against him. Watching him as he reached into the dumbwaiter with his other arm and dragged out the cake with his hand. We, or rather you, will enjoy this cake. We will have a final party, and then you will choose your gift. Then you'll kill me. I have to, my little one. It is the vampiric code. We can only keep humans for a single year. Any longer than that, and it would be open season on me by the others. So the choice we have before us is, are you just my fuck toy, or are you my equal? That is for you to decide. I was going to give you a third option, but it is a moot point now. Marcus maneuvered me back to the couch and tossed me down on it. He sat himself on the edge of the coffee table and looked down at the cake. I took you from your world one day after your birthday. Tonight, I will take you from this life, but I am granting you a new one. Let me go. If I did that, we would both die. Do not worry, Sex. I will be gentle. This will make up for my taking your virginity so brutally. I don't want to die. It will only be for a short time. He actually smiled at me, reached out, brushing away the cracker crumbs from my face. Happy 30th birthday, Sigmund Edward Xavier. My teeth clacked together as he pushed my jaw closed. I hadn't even realized I was gaping. He took a finger, dragged it through the icing, holding the sugared digit to my face. When I refused to open my mouth, he flicked it across my lips, pressing lightly at one corner, pushing it in, I opened my jaw just as he had trained me to do whenever he presented his cock to me this way, and then he stroked my tongue with his finger, smearing the icing around before pulling his finger free. Good boy. He smiled sweetly at me. I know everything about you, Sex. I knew all about you when I first found you in that bar. I was supposed to kill you that night, but you were so miserable that you were irresistibly desirable. Yes, I drugged you. Yes, I kidnapped you. He stuck another finger covered with icing in my face. He mocked me as he thrust it in and out of my mouth, running the icing over my tongue. It was sweet and sugary and tasted nothing like this bitter last year. A whole year was lost. My 29th year was gone. And yes, I loved you even when you fought me. I will admit to raping you when you defied me, but that does not mean it has to continue that way. It will depend on your choice. Marcus pulled his finger out of my mouth. Oh, you have some icing on your... Here, let me get it. Marcus's tongue was in my mouth quicker than I expected. There was no place to go. There was nothing to do but let him do what he wanted, with my hands curled into useless fists behind me. Wait a minute. What do you mean you knew all about me? Marcus sat up away from me and reached for my throat. I tensed as he took the neck of my shirt and tore at it, wrenching it open so that it hung off my shoulders. How do you think I maintain this place? He asked me. I had no idea, so I kept quiet. My talents are sold to the highest bidder. No secret is safe from me. If the house tells me to dispose of my target, I do by simply ripping their minds open, ferreting out what I need, and leaving the remaining mess to die a quick but horrible death. His fingers toyed with my nipples. He was saying something important, and I had to force myself to listen as he pinched my left nipple. I arched backward, shoving my chest into his hand. Fuck, my body had accepted him. He plays me like a whore, his very own special private sex toy. I was nothing but a willing hole. Marcus looked at me with a knowing expression on his face. He had heard that, even though I hadn't directly thought it. He took his hands off my body and placed a kiss on my forehead. Your company knew what you had done, Sigmund. They had only hired me to confirm it. Why do you think you had a headache all that week? That was me taking a cruise around your mind. I liked you then, though not as much as now, of course. They hunted down the data that you stole and retrieved it quite quickly for humans. Then I got the order to kill you. The company arranged for you to end up at that bar, using the pretext of your birthday. They did not care what happened to you, they just wanted you to disappear. I've defied my orders in order to keep you by my side. I have never challenged the house before. I have given you a year of life, a life that should have ended that very day 365 days ago. What do you offer me in return? I just stared at him. This hell wasn't an unfortunate accident. It was all planned? It had been all planned because I had been stupid and careless? My family! Marcus turned, set the cake down on the table beside him, pinched off a huge piece of spongy sweetness. He rammed the chunk of vanilla goodness into my mouth as he continued talking to me. They just targeted you based on my recommendation. I did not care about your human family. I had no need to investigate them any further than I did. You held them with such contempt in your mind. No, maybe not contempt, but I discovered that you had locked them out of your life when you were just a teenager. Would it please you to know that your family has been grieving your loss? You might have turned your back on them, but they still hold you dear in their hearts. Because they care so much for you, I made sure that they were safe out there on that farm where you lived. Oh crap, he knew about my family. He knew where they were and what they did. Or did he? I had cut myself off from them because I didn't want anything to do with the family business. I swallowed the cake he just shoved into my mouth and tensed as his hand caressed my neck and trailed down to my now exposed chest. His other hand dipped back into the cake, pinching off small crumbles of it and easing them into my mouth. I obediently ate. Just because I was a bastard didn't mean I wanted my family to suffer because of me. Vanilla. Oh my God. How I miss that taste. I licked his fingers clean. I missed out on a lot being held prisoner like this. But if being with him kept my family safe, so be it. I could be a vampire's fuck toy. I leaned back, crushing my arms beneath me, spreading my thighs wide and wrapping my legs around his lean body, hooking my ankles together behind him, keep him there. I bucked up against him gently as I turned my head, exposed my throat, and closed my eyes. This is his reward if he wanted it. I thought my heart was going to break. Tears streamed from under my eyelids. I could do this. I had to. And if the truth were to be stared at in all its accusation and purity, I'd done this to myself. My own greed and denial had fucked me over big time. Submission? I never expected that from you, my little one, but I would be a fool to turn it down. However, this should be done in a more horizontal position that we can both enjoy. I was still amazed that Marcus could pick me up as if I were a child. Since being imprisoned here, I have had the experience of being carted to the playroom by him, one hand around my waist and being tossed onto the bed from the chamber door. This time, though, he picked me up, supporting my back with one arm, the other under my legs like I was a bride being carried over the threshold. I shuddered. That was not an image I wanted, however true it might be. You want to play my submissive, blushing virgin sex? His lips were pressed into my hair. You should have been awake for your deflowering. Then again, maybe not. I was rather excited. Oh, God. I expected him to toss me to the king-size bed and simply take me, but he surprised me yet again, lowering himself to his knees as he laid me tenderly down on the mattress. He was too large a man to expect tenderness from, and he hadn't shown much of it in the past year. Why now? I said you deserve gentleness, sex. No, you have not seen it with me, but I am capable of it. You should feel safe in your lover's arms. You should be able to sleep without terror. Let me be that for you, your lover. You have no idea how much I desire that. He rolled me onto my face and unbuckled my cuffs. My hands were numb, and my shoulders protested. It was pure agony when he began rubbing the feeling back into my limbs. I gritted my teeth and groaned as pins and needles attacked my arms and shoulders. And I groaned again as he stopped his rubbing and flipped me back over to look at him. No more stabbings, and no more of this. Marcus gestured to his face, towards the fine silver scar leading from his nose, which was now healed and fading. Keep your hands to yourself, will you not? In return, I will not drink from you when we make love. I know how that scares you. The bed shifted as he climbed onto it. He stroked my bare chest and pulled the remnants of my shirt away. My vision narrowed down to his chocolate-colored eyes as he set his forehead against mine. You can be my fuck toy for an eternity if you want. I would be your master, and you would never refuse me anything. Your existence would be to see to my pleasure. His hand burrowed its way into the waistband of my leather pants to cut my heat. Or you can be, for the lack of a better word, a stand-alone vampire. Stand-alone! He blinked and let out a roar of laughter. You certainly have no problem making decisions. That is what got you into trouble to begin with. Are you sure you do not want to be my sex slave? Been there, done that. Fuck that option. Language. So be it. I am glad. I hoped you would make the choice to be my equal because that mind of yours is just too fascinating to be dulled down to a sex doll. The birthing will be slow. There will be pain, but not much. I know you do not like blood, but try not to fear too much. I will not leave you to face it by yourself.